Welcome to the video. My name is Show, and in this video I'm going to share my journey and then how I overcame all this resistance and then I became the social media a public figure type of thing. I don't know how you want to call it, influencer, whatever. Currently I've got 1.4 million followers on the TikTok, which now I cannot log in, and 850,000 followers on Instagram and 200,000 followers on subscribers on YouTube. And currently that's pretty much all I have, and growing every single day. And then it became such a spiritual journey. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of people think the social media is just a shallow shit. Yeah, I agree. There are a lot of shallow people is on the social media, same as the reality. So your real relationships, your real engagement, physical relationship with your friends or relationship can be shallow as fuck, but your social media friends or connection can be shallow as fuck. So I think the social media itself is not shallow, but the people there is very shallow. So I'm going to share how I overcame to start speaking out and to become who I am now on the social media, and then how I actually got where I am in terms of this social media journey. So before I started social media, I don't know, 10 years ago, probably, I'm 30 years old now, I'm an old man with a young soul. I remember that it was like somewhere in high school-ish, the Instagram and Twitter was launched when I was somewhere that, and I hated social media, by the way. Perhaps you relate to that. I had a lot of judgment, and I hated social media, and I was very shy in that sense as well. So when I started, I couldn't think of like posting me speaking out or in a video like YouTubers. Like I was like, nah. It's like, no way, I'm not gonna do it. And I hated selfies, like taking selfies. I hated the idea of vlogging, like travel vlog and stuff like that. Like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, I don't enjoy that. Like, still, it's not my favorite thing. I mean, I still do, because that's part of my work. But, I find a way to enjoy it, of course. But not necessarily that's my favorite thing. So when I started it, I only had like 1,000 people, like 1,500 people, but as well as my following. So I had like 12 or 1,300 following, and then 1,500 followers, I believe. So I didn't have any extra followers, because I was also following a lot of people, and I met a lot of people during like traveling around and being fashion model. So I literally just posted some pictures that I've, like modeling pictures I shot, or like some work, like the runway with the Dolce & Gabbana, or like all these campaign, Banana Republic, or Just a Raw, or other like whatever. And when I post those pictures, my purpose of posting, it was just purely a validation. And it was so interesting. It's so interesting. Now I teach people, before I get into depth of the story, I teach people never post for yourself. And this is like, I teach social media, I teach social media marketing, and I teach how to build the influence through a social media platform. But I literally say to everyone, so never post for yourself. Because if you post for yourself, the purpose, what you are looking for, is a validation. And it means anything. It means nothing. Because I wasn't fulfilled, because I didn't love myself, because I was not confident, all I was seeking is the validation and all this like comments and likes and connection, quote unquote. Because, if I really do enjoy whatever the picture that I have or this work and everything, I don't need to brag to people. I don't need to share that people. Of course, I could share to my parents, I could share to my friends, and like, yo, check this out, I've done this job, like, yo, that's so cool. But I don't need to share to individuals whose I don't have any friendship with. Like, you don't go on the street and like, yo, check this out, bro, I've got the Dolce & Gabbana runway, check this out, boom. Cool. Congratulations. It's like, it's so interesting. You don't do that in the reality. In the real life, you don't go on to strangers and like start bragging your accomplishment, right? But on the social media, that's what we do. At least that's what I used to do as well. And of course, now I've I'm in a different position. So it's very important for me to also share my accomplishment and encourage people who follows me, because I really appreciate that, and that's what I want. My purpose now is to encourage and motivate them, and to really show, even if you start exactly where I was before, even if you were now wearing the same shoes as I was wearing before, you can do that, the same thing. And then all these spiritual practices and all these things that we can, get back to our spiritual state and tap into our higher state, or to reduce anxiety and overthinking. And that's all I'm sharing, because I believe that is a necessary aspect, or the practices to be shared with unlimited individuals, and who wants to develop themselves, who wants to heal themselves. So that's what I did. My purpose is completely different, right? But before, it was not like that, and I had a bunch of judgment, and I was not confident at all. I was insecure as fuck. And when I decided to do that, it was actually all Japanese, and I started speaking Japanese. But when I started it, I was so afraid, because Japanese people are so fucking judgmental, man. I don't want to speak about our cultural nationality negatively, but that's just a fact. Like, there are a lot of people who commit suicide because of all these, attack. And it's horrible. And when I have to start speaking out in front of the camera, it was a lot, because it creates so much fear and a resistance and a bunch of self-doubt. And I actually made a video about self-doubt, right? Like, if you don't seek action, or if you don't focus on the stepping, like taking a step, or if you, instead of like taking a step, like focusing on actually taking a step to action, but if you start focusing on like, what happens if I take a step that might break the stairs, or I might get slipped. Like, if you start focusing on these like possibilities of like negative or worst case scenario, your mind is now cursed with this all self-doubt. So I was there, like when I started it, that's all I had in my mind. And I had so much resistance, especially YouTube or Instagram. And then, when you have certain amount of followers, that we've got a bunch of friends all over the world, and you don't want to you don't want to show up like some weird shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, also, I was speaking about spirituality, and I didn't want to be judged in whoa. It's like, that's like, show is being so weird, and it's like talking about wishy-washy and all this bullshit. So I didn't want to be exposed, or I didn't want to be seen in that way. So I was very afraid. But I already decided, so I was like, you know what, I already decided, so I'm just gonna do it, and pushed myself. And I remember I got a lot of positive feedback, and that was also some sort of validation, perhaps feeds my ego at the time. But it was a good validation as well, because my purpose shifted, right? If I was doing that with the purpose of like, hey, like, check this out, I've got a nice picture to post, this is me and blah blah blah, then that only feeds my ego, but that doesn't fulfill my mission or purpose. But now the purpose of posting is different, because I want to grow on social media, and I want to spread the message, and I want to build a business. So the validation about who I am or how I look wasn't actually important at the point. But that doesn't take away all the insecurity, or that doesn't take away all the resistance. Of course, I still feel the resistance, but I had made a decision. So all I was focusing is taking a step. I was seeking the action, actually shooting a video, actually thinking about the script, actually, learning about editing. So that was 3 years ago. And I still remember that I worked very hard creating YouTube videos, and also starting Instagram and everything. But when I started TikTok, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to, because I had so much judgment. All I was thinking is just, bro, like, this is stupid. This is just bullshit. Like, some girls are just dancing and then showing their titties and showing their, like, butts and everything. It's like, no, I'm not going to do it, man. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, there's nothing to lose. Like, even if I embarrass myself starting TikTok, that doesn't really define who I am, or like I don't lose anything basically. So I started it, I put my ego aside and I started it. And then of course it took me a little bit to understand that what the TikTok is about and the possibility of TikTok. So I just kept going, and at first I was making fashion content and like stuff like that. But I remembered like, okay, so my mission is to, share spirituality, law of attraction, and self-development aspect, because it was so easy for me to share fashion content or like just do some like, I don't know, like casual stuff. But when it comes to speaking to the camera and like, hey, here's something you do, here's the XYZ, here's how to become confident. And it was a little bit difficult. But again, I slowly shifted my content and just speaking or using the audio to spread the message and then stuff like that. And I've tried a lot of, and then I started gaining followers. But here's the thing. The reason why I teach people the internal state, the importance of like how you feel and how you think, and then all this energetic alignment within you, is because there's always a breakthrough when I am so aligned, when I am tapping into this high vibration frequency. And when I'm in the low vibration frequency, when I'm not doing these inner work or not aligned myself within, but just like thinking about all this like how and then strategy and all this bullshit, the external factors, I don't manifest anything. I don't attract things. It takes so much time. But when I'm in that state, I'm completely aligned and I'm joyful, and all I'm thinking is like the believing the fact that it's coming. It's instantaneous. It just happens. And then the growth that I had was I already had like 40,000 followers, I believe, on TikTok. But at the time I went to Malta and I didn't have no money. I was like literally, I think less than €1,000 in my bank. And I wasn't making money at all. And well, I had some money coming in, but because modeling industry, it pays 3 months later. So the money was coming in 3 months later and has almost, well, first of all, zero income, and then less than $1,000 in my bank account. And I actually purchased the sales course, how to become a sales. And I probably spent like $600 or $700 or something like that. So I was very broke. But I decided to stay in my friend's place in Malta because I knew that there was going to be beautiful sun, there's going to be ocean, it's going to be awesome. So every day I was like, from 6 a.m. just like bam, like walk out and then jump into the ocean. It's like feeling so good, liberating. And I was like, you know what? I can make a video like every single day and I can get so many views. And I was just like completely in that alignment. And then the first thing, boom, it started. Like that was a video about how to become attractive type of video. And then the first video I dropped, it just instantaneously got the views. And I'm like, fuck, this is amazing. So I immediately made a series 2, and then series 3, series 4, and then basically the Fast 9 series got viral, like heavily viral. And one of them has like 7 million views, I believe. And yeah. In 2 weeks, I had 300,000 followers or 400,000 followers or something, and then it kept growing. So this is what I mean. Like whatever you do, and then I believe that you are focusing on a social media journey. And then when I started it, even though when I started it, I hated everything and I had so much judgment and I was so shy and I was so insecure. Day by day, obviously learning by learning. I also challenged myself every step of the way to post, speak out, and the things that I wasn't completely feel confident, but I show up, embraced that authentic version of myself. That was, me being the best, trying to be the best version of myself there. Obviously comparing that version of me and then me right now has a huge difference, because there's a timeline that I kept learning and I kept bettering myself on a daily basis. Of course, you become better and better, even if 0.1 centimeter you grow as a let's say as a length, right? And then 0.1 for like thousands of days, you grow farther. So that's the power and consistency. And then I kept doing that. And then I was like, okay, so this is how it happens. I was right. Like all these things that I believe, that the internal state and all the decision comes from internal state, and everything is subconscious, right? So it's like I kept doing it, and the growth was so fast. And especially now, every single individual in this planet is now a content creator, and you want to believe somebody, you want to follow somebody who actually inspires you, who's just not like shallow people. And then this was my judgment as well. Like I hated social media because social media like seemed to be very shallow and bullshit. And then yes, majority of the people on the social media is bullshit and shallow, isn't it? That's why you have to be conscious about the friends around you. You are the average of 5 people that you spend most time with in the real life or in the social media as well. There are a lot of people who just, gives you so much random bullshit, and so as well as the people who attack you. So even if you're the audience of somebody, you have to be aware of like, who is this person? Is this person authentic? Is this person real? And then also, if you become the social media figure, then you also be aware that there will be a bunch of people who attack you. So for you, if you are about to start, or if you want to develop yourself on a social media journey, you have to understand that every inaction comes with the same thing. Even if you take action, then people will say, yeah, you cannot do it, like what you're doing is shit, you're bullshit, fuck you. But even if you don't do it, people will tell you like, he's just like talker, he never do shit, he just like speak, he loves speaking opinion, or she loves talking about shit, opinion, astrology, but she never really do anything. So you're in this place right now, there's 2 different branches spreading in front of your face. This is where you take action. So I'll give you exactly what it's going to look like for you. So right now you're here, perhaps you're already starting the journey, perhaps you are about to start the journey. If you take action, you are going to deal with the people who's going to attack you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how amazing you are. It doesn't matter. You're just wanting to do something great for people. You just want to help people. You're a fucking amazing individual. It doesn't matter. They don't care. They will attack you anyway. They'll call you bitch. They'll call you a stupid shit. They tell you that what you're doing, what you're saying is bullshit. Even if you learned from somebody, PhD and the professionals, you learn something and it's like, damn, this is the information. Here's how to do X, Y, Z, and then the people tell you, no, that's bullshit. Like, but you're gonna deal with that. You're gonna deal with those motherfuckers if you take action, right? So if you don't take action, if you don't keep your journey, if you don't start your journey, spreading your positive message, or building business, or becoming an influencer and being exposed and pursue your dreams, such as, I don't know, how becoming a model, become an influencer, and work with the brand and the companies. If you don't take action, there will be people behind your back talking you are this and that. Either way, you're going to deal with the haters. You're going to deal with the people. I've heard it when I was very young. I think I was even like teenager. I've heard this. Whatever you do, 20% of the people you meet in your life, 20% of the people will love you no matter what. Like including your parents or some best friends. Like they will love you for who you are, even if you make mistakes. And 20% of the people will hate your guts, whoever you are. Absolutely. This is because we have a vibe. Like instantaneously, sometimes you meet people and then instantaneously, oh my God, I love you. Like I feel like I know you for a long time and I love you. Nice to meet you, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like you have that connection instantaneously. But sometimes you also meet people, it's like, I don't know why, but I don't like this guy. I'm a genuine person, but I just genuinely don't like this person. Like you have that like some mismatch of like, with the energies of spirit. Perhaps you and this person, knew each other in the back in history, the past life, and it wasn't that good. I don't know the exact reason, but we know we have this people. So 20% not gonna like you anyway, and 60% is completely up to you. So it's depending on how you treat this 60%. They can convert into people, oh, I absolutely love you, or they can convert into, oh, I absolutely hate you, or they can just say like, yeah, I don't give a shit, I don't care. So you can actually have maximum 80% of the people you meet. Like you can literally just turn them into like, I love you so much, I think you're amazing, XYZ. Or you can actually turn this 80% of the people you meet, I fucking hate you, you're a motherfucker, you're a piece of shit. But it's 60% is depending on your action. And it's very interesting because you can literally take action and increase these people that from 20% to 30%, 40%, 50%, right? But knowing that some percentage that you will meet on social media or in real life are not going to like you. And that's completely okay. But the problem is, if you go to this not taking action, you are not going to see your potential. You're not going to see how it turns out, how your life turns out, how you can change your life if you don't go in this path. Because either way, you're going to deal with people anyway. Because 20% of people are not going to like you in the first place. And it could be 30 or it could be 40% of people that are going to not like you. But that's inevitable. That's how it's designed. It's just, we don't have that capacity to just, love every single individual. You can try to spread love. You can, reduce the judgment within you, and that's all I'm trying to do as well. We have all this judgment, instantaneous judgment. We call it it's called snap judgment. We're just like constantly judging people based on the appearance and based on the energy. It's all sort of part of the protection mechanism. But anyway, if you think about that, either way, you're going to deal with 20%, a minimum 20% of the people who's not going to like you. And I think it's worth to challenge yourself. It's worth to get what you want, become somebody very influential and powerful, and be able to lift people up or be able to share a wisdom with people and be able to contribute to someone else's happiness or someone else's success. Then deal with haters, isn't it? This is, if you rationally think about that, yeah, that's true. But the reason why the social media journey can be such a spiritual journey is because what you deal with is not the people and haters. That's eventually, yes, you're going to deal with it. But what you deal with the internal, your fear, your insecurity, your ego. Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to show up like this. I don't want to talk about this topic. It's all about your ego. It's all about your insecurities. But if you actually face it, if you actually start facing each aspect that you feel insecure about, or your ego pulls you back, then it becomes so spiritual journey. It's part of the self-development, and you're developing yourself, and then you are, finding your passion and purpose, and then be able to express it through social media. I believe a lot of people wants to start social media journey, and a lot of people wants to develop the social media game. And I just want to tell you that I started exactly the same place. Maybe you relate the judgment and all this being insecure about. And I wasn't really good at speaking either, like at all. Like I needed to read every fucking sentence that I wrote, and it was really horrible. Like now I don't write script at all, and then I can just flawlessly, like talk about the things that I want to share and with the powerful message. But obviously without practicing speaking or actually shooting YouTube or editing YouTube, I never got any chance to practice, to sharpen my knife. So if you start posting, and then especially the things that you feel hesitant, like, yeah, I can just post my like nice pictures, like and then edit with a nice audio. I don't mind it. I don't feel so insecure about it. But like the things that maybe speaking about certain things, positivity, spirituality, law of attraction, or maybe yoga, you feel hesitant about showing your body in your yoga pants and stuff like that. But anything that you feel insecure, anything that you have that judgment within you, also reflects externally as well. So you do judge other people in the same way too. You have to remember that, because whatever you judge internally, you would also judge externally. So it's a great time for you to reflect what you're so insecure about, and then why you're so insecure about it, and what you're afraid of, and then really change the narrative. Because again, if you take this seriously, don't believe all these people talking about like social media is shit. Yes, it can be. Like it's weird. It's interesting because, you know, if I give you a knife, then let's say you have no idea how to use a knife, then of course you're gonna cut your fingers, right? And then people are like, no, like this is bullshit. This is so like horrible. This is going to like ruin the humanity. Like, yeah, because you don't know how to use it. But people who knows how to use social media can cook, can cut carrot, and can cut like some papayas and pineapples and like really hard shit, and can cut a nice sashimi, like tuna and salmon. It's like put like a beautiful thing, and you can create an art with the knife. So if you know how to use it, that is going to serve you because it's a tool. But if you just like mindlessly hate the knife without actually trying to learn the tool of how to use this tool, then of course you're going to cut your fingers and like, oh my god, it hates, oh it's painful, like I don't like it. So again, if you actually have the willingness to learn about the social media or about how you can utilize this tool, instead of like get your finger bleeding, then the social media itself has so much power and so much wisdom, so much beautiful side. And I believe I'm utilizing very well, because I can share the message that I learned, and I can lift people up, I can motivate people up. And I love the fact that, you know, my meditation is helping so many people. I receive so many comments about, you know, like, oh my god, this meditation is amazing, the best meditation ever on the YouTube. Of course I love it. And then the fact that it also validates me, right? Like, okay, so what I'm doing is great. What I'm doing is actually helping people. Not to feed my ego, but okay, cool. Then I can create something like this. I can create something like that. And then again, I can create another meditation that has such an impact on people. Then it does serving people. It does serving humanity, instead of like cutting your fingers and like, oh my god, this is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So like understanding the tool itself. What is it? What is knife? This is where you start. If you're starting social media, what your knife is. Knife is, you know, something that is very sharp. Okay, oh, it's sharp, so I should be careful. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where people should start. And understanding that, and then you can utilize the knife and then to even create some beautiful art. Anywhere you start, you're shy, you're insecure, you have judgment, it's fine. But don't run away from it. It's going to be such a spiritual healing and a spiritual journey. Just embrace it. You don't need to be speaking like me, because, come on, I've practiced for 3 years. And then if you can speak better than me, it's like, where should I stand? You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. It's okay. It's like, just look at your social media journey in more like a longer vision, 2 years and 3 years. And again, I'm telling you, like, if you give yourself 2 to 3 years, you're going to be better than me. But don't expect yourself to be better than me or as good as me in just like 6 months. All right, with this said, 2024, let's share a beautiful wisdom. Let's share positivity and pursue dreams. All right, speak tomorrow. Peace. Live your life like a movie.